If you're looking for the secret to pain-free sitting, then you need to tune in to this video. Hi there and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I'm Marian Barnick, registered kinesiologist and movement coach. I help people move better and feel better by correcting biomechanics so they can improve their performance. And what we're going to cover today in this video is the secret that I tell my clients to pain-free sitting. There is one step to pain-free sitting that is going to give you benefit above all others, and I'm going to give you the 3 things that you need to do to implement this secret for pain-free sitting. And we're not talking sitting just in the office. We're talking whether it's in the bus, in the car, whether it's at church, whether it's at the kitchen table. Sitting is a big part of a lot of people's lives. So we want to make sure that we can implement strategies to improve your biomechanics and get you in that position for pain-free sitting. Now you may say, you know what, everyone has pain. I'm going to put up with the pain. But I'm going to caution you on that because pain is the way your body's talking to you. When there's pain, there is something wrong, and we need to listen to that so it doesn't extend into increased risk of injuries. It doesn't extend into issues where you can't take care of it with just some tweaks in your body alignment and biomechanics. It's going to need months and months of treatment, or it may even need surgery. So listen to the pain and let's figure out what it's telling you. Now I know with sitting, people are saying sitting is the new smoking, and I'm going to say no, sitting doesn't kill you. But we do want to change positions. We don't want to stay in sitting all day, but we are required to sit for part of our day for the majority of people. So we do want to make sure that we get our body in alignment so when we sit, we can be pain-free and not put our body at risk for injuries. So let's reveal that number 1 secret to pain-free sitting. That, my friends, is the pelvis. When you have proper positioning of your pelvis, that is going to bring about that pain-free sitting, because the pelvis is what is instrumental in making sure your upper body and your lower body are in alignment when you're sitting. And that is the secret. Now, I'm going to give you those 3 tips to make sure that you can get the pelvis in the right position while you're sitting. Tip number 1. I want you to make sure you've got hamstring flexibility. Yep, those hamstrings are going to affect how your pelvis is positioned. It is going to pull on the pelvis in an angular way that's going to shift that pelvis from neutral to a position that's going to increase that strain on your low back. So if you have low back pain when you're sitting, this is the first step I want you to take. Look at improving your hamstring flexibility. Now, if you've got some issues with that, I'm going to put a link up here and in the description to the hamstring stretching so you make sure you do it properly. Tip number 2 for getting that pelvis in proper positioning, and that's your core. You want to make sure once you get your pelvis in that position that's going to give you pain-free sitting, that you can keep the pelvis there, and that is with core strength. Core, not so much strength, but we do call it core strength. It's more of an endurance type of activity, because once we get the pelvis in that position, once we get our spine in proper alignment, we want those core muscles to be able to hold us in that position. We don't want to have to keep thinking about it. That's automation and neural pathways, and we will be talking about that, but not today. We're going to focus on the pelvis. So we want to make sure the core works to hold the pelvis in that position so you've got that pain-free sitting, and you don't have to worry about putting strain on your back, your knees, or any other part of your body. Now that 3rd thing that you need to work on to get the pelvis in that position for your pain-free walking is to loosen up those hip flexors. So those hip flexors can get really tight, and they can be our go-to muscle that we look for when we look at moving the upper body or the lower body. They're a strong muscle, and when they get overused, they can get super tight and cranky. So if we make sure that we loosen up those hip flexors, we can make sure that the pelvis can be in a better position to bring about better sitting and decrease pain. That's what we want to look at. So let's look at those 3 steps again. The number 1 secret is getting the pelvis in the proper position. And your 3 ways to do that is with hamstring flexibility, getting the core nice and strong to hold the proper position, and loosening up those hip flexors, because they attach into the low back as well, and we want to make sure they're loose to allow the pelvis to be in the position that's going to bring about our goal, which is pain-free sitting. Now, in an upcoming video, we will be talking specifically on hip flexors, on getting the sequencing firing properly in the body so those hip flexors can loosen up and you can use the proper muscles, including your tush, with what's necessary when you do your day-to-day activities as well as your sports. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell too, so you know when the next video is coming. Now, if you've got any questions about this, or you're wondering if your body is in alignment when you're sitting, then I want you to comment below. We will have more videos on biomechanics, body alignment, and getting you pain-free. So I'd love for you to subscribe and have an awesome day.